who will be doing battle. We've got Jonny Guttman, the tournament leader here, up against Albert Cordobes. This is an Esper Gorrios matchup versus Eldrazi ramp. 10-1 for Guttman, 9-2 for Cordobes. Jonny Guttman, an online player first from Toronto, playing for Team Handshake in Moxfield, had 0 wins at his first Paper Pro Tour, but proving here that resilience pays off. And here he is, leading the tournament. Up against Albert Cordobes, started playing the game in 2015 from Barcelona on Team World League Council, qualified via an RC to play here this weekend. So doing very well on day 2. Those are the players. What about the decks, Corey?
Yeah, let's take a look, starting with Jonny Guttman. This is the Esper Gorrios list that we saw at the very top of our metagame. It's treating Jonny quite well, as Jonny is X-1, had the 1 loss to Shuhei Nakamura yesterday on that Is It Affinity build. We are trying to bring Atraxas and Gristlebrand's back from the graveyard with Gorrios Vengeance, blink them with Ephemerate, or you can even consign the trigger. Jonny does have that 1 consign in the main. That is going to come in handy up against Jonny's opponent here, who is playing Eldrazi. So this is an Eldrazi ramp version where we don't see Karn the Great Creator. We really don't see main deck relics. Any of the things that are very good against these Esper Gorrios Vengeance lists, we don't see them right now. This is a list that screams to me, I want to beat Boros Energy. I want to beat any creature deck. So this is going to be a tough one for Albert. There's not even a lot of graveyard hate in the sideboard too. Just a couple Grafdigger's Cage. So this might be one of the matches where they're just like, yeah, if I play against it, let's just hope I can Emrakul them and start making some bad plays for my opponent. Otherwise, it's looking pretty brutal, I must say.
All right, well, let's find out what happens. Round 12 is on the way, and this is normally when I pass it on over to Riley and Cedric, but I've got to take a pause here, everybody, and just call something out. Here at the desk, we're very professional. We take our job seriously.
Yeah.
In the booth, however, we had some antics yesterday that just left us all so disappointed.
Antics? I don't
Antics. We had emails. We had phone calls. People were just like, I can't handle these two. Can't
I got a
handle
telegraph.
them. You got a telegram?
Yeah.
They're getting
I had a
faxes
pigeon.
sent.
That's
They're
neat.
getting
Bird
feedback
mail.
about. What?
Well, if you're going to put up a fight, don't worry, you two. We have receipts. Take a look, everybody.
What's happening right
I don't
now?
understand what this is about.
And so that's what the deck is trying to do. It's the 1-2 punch. If you get the combo online, you basically can go from there. And we're going to see if he can actually assemble it in the face of a deck that has Solitude and everything else.
Actually,
Oh, yeah, go
I
ahead.
will point out,
Please do.
given that Dr. Frank Carsten will be tuning into this broadcast, you actually can't make a creature infinitely big.
Okay.
You can't. You have to stop at some point.
Got
You can
it.
make it arbitrarily large.
Got it.
That's what all the eggheads say. All the mathematologists out there. That's the terminology they use.
Never been much of a numbers guy.
Slide into Cedric's DMs if
Can
you've
we-
got
This is
a.
the second time you've recommended this.
If you want to explain the finer points of countable and uncountable infinities to Cedric, if you want to talk to him maybe about, I don't know.
So I'm glad we're doing this. This is good.
he's giving me daggers. The eyes are just Cedric's giving me a very clear message here that I shouldn't be continuing to.
It's the look of disgust.
Slide into Cedric's DMs if you don't want him to.
Come on in.
You're
Come on
trying to
in.
give him advice as to how to get people
come on
to stop him from sliding into those DMs. All right.
Come on in. See what happens to you. Come on in. They can tell if I'm winning or losing.
Yeah.
Really
And it was never more obvious than yesterday when I was when we were knee deep in that bit. Well, look,
Antics.
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 Yeah.
Antics.
Better, guys.
Hashtag slide into Cedric's
Where did we get? Look at those
2025.
arms. Hello. The blue hair, that was a couple of years ago. Where did we get these? Why did we do? What is happening?
And we're the ones being accused of
Did
antics.
you know this was going to
I had
happen?
no idea.
I don't
Okay,
believe you.
at this point, all right, at this point, listen, set the record straight.
Okay.
I'd like to offer an unreserved apology on behalf of myself and Cedric. Obviously, unprofessional
you,
behavior from
Riley.
us here in the booth, right?
Okay.
We are always open to feedback, always looking to get better as broadcasters. So if you around the world have any ideas as to how we can improve our craft,
Nope.
slide
Nope.
into Cedric's
Nope.
DMs
Nope.
and let him know what
We didn't do that.
There it is.
Yep.
Good on you, mate.
It took me a minute to get there, but okay.
Let's slide into round
DMs
12. What do you
to
say?
slide in? No, of course not.
That was dope.
Oh, so we go into mine.
Lock bag.
Lovely.
All right. My
Lovely.
friends, we're going to get into the very cold, hard, and serious business of Magic.
Of Magic.
The Gathering.
That's right.
We've got modern rounds to attend to today, Cedric, and we are going to find out who's going to emerge victorious between this match. Jonny Guttman, Albert Cordobes. At the desk, they seem to be in agreement that this was a tough matchup for the Spaniard, and you yourself were saying, heading into this round, Eldrazi Ramp probably not favoured in this matchup.
I don't think this is a good matchup here for Albert, for a lot of the reasons that Corey did mention. There's a real lack of just graveyard hate and meaningful interaction. So look, a ramping strategy going over the top of things like Boros Energy makes a lot of sense. Interacting with Belcher and its lands, like via World Breaker and stuff, again, makes a lot of sense. This particular matchup, I don't love the prospects here for Albert. The way that I think Albert has to win, things that we're going to keep our eyes on, Eldrazi Temple and other mana accelerants, those need to be happening basically immediately. It can't be a slow draw. It has to be a very fast draw that involves Utopia Sprawl, double lands, and then just playing a large threat and hoping that large threat is close to relevant. And this hand that Albert does have, it does contain Utopia Sprawl, Talisman, and Ugin's Labyrinth. So like it has the makings of, I'm going to play a thing real fast and hope that thing is actually good.
Well, another good sign here for Albert is the fact that Jonny Guttman on a mulligan to 5.
Yeah.
Now, it's a good one. We got a Quantum Riddler and Ephemerate. We can rebuild from there, certainly. But no, this is definitely a string to the Eldrazi player's bow here. Opening things up nice and early with a Talisman. I will point out to the viewers at home, you can't see us, but Cedric, having realized now that this camera is on at all times, pointing at us, he is sitting up, straight-backed and pretty-faced.
Yep, that's
We're not
true.
getting caught out. I didn't realize they were recording us the whole time.
How do you think I feel?
Yeah, we got to be... I'm going to start bringing in branded, like, corporate logo T-shirts.
I like that, some
right?
merchandise.
Open it up
Yeah.
when we're not on camera so they can't catch us out.
Gotcha.
You know?
Very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart for the next show. A handful of months from now. We will be prepared.
Well, assuming we get asked back after the antics, Cedric.
Yes.
After the antics.
That's right.
My goodness me. All right, so Johnny may be in a good position with his deck here, but certainly his hand being winnowed down a little bit. Didn't have a lot of resources in it to begin with, and after a mulligan to 5, he'll be looking to do everything he can
Yeah, this is so.
to restock after losing 2 cards to the mulligan.
If you're gonna mulligan to 5, which you don't love, obviously, this is the kind of deck that can actually operate on a mulligan to 5, because you are a deck that does have Goryo's Vengeance, and you can get an Atraxa back and recoup some of those lost cards. But also, Quantum Riddler is a very good card when you are working with less resources,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
So as you can see, Guttman's plan, as his hand currently stands, is an Ephemerate Quantum Riddler game. You warp the Quantum Riddler. Likely to draw 2 cards because of the lack of cards in hand, especially if a land is found, and then Ephemerate as well. So being able to recoup some of the card disadvantage via Riddler and Ephemerate, and then, of course, having a 4/6 on the battlefield.
That doesn't hurt either.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt. So that's probably the game plan here.
All right, Utopia's for all the play here for Albert, as we see Johnny dispatch that Talisman with a prismatic ending. Back over to the Canadian here. Draws a card. Ephemerate Quantum Riddler, Solitude Atraxa in hand here. So not what he was looking for.
No, not
Do you
really.
still run out the Quantum Riddler here just to draw a card? You've got to find that land.
I think that this would be a fine enough time to just warp the Riddler.
I think so.
It's not great, but it's better than nothing. You maybe peel off the land for the Ephemerate. Even if you don't, it's still okay, because Solitude Ephemerate against this Eldrazi deck is not the worst place to be. So this isn't an ideal start by any means, but Johnny can still play.
Yep, and Faithful Mending is actually a pretty good rep here. It's going to let him at least enact a game plan. But back to Albert, who doesn't have a lot of business. We've already talked about the fact that he has the Sire of 7 Deaths in hand. I don't know if he's got another copy of Utopia Sprawl. I think that's already been played. So I think it's just 4 cards in hand here for him.
Yeah, this is kind of the concern with the matchup. Albert kept 7, Johnny kept 5.
Yeah.
I think that Johnny is weirdly advantaged right now.
He kept a better 5 than Albert's 7.
Albert's 7, yeah. Yep. Because Albert is really just kind of do nothing.
Spinning the wheels.
And,
yeah.
it is unfortunate for Albert that the Talisman did get blown up by Prismatic Ending, but even if the Talisman was on the battlefield, nothing would be coming right now.
There's no like bridging play, right? There's no, the deck, as it ramps towards the Sire of 7 Deaths and the Heragasts and the Emrakuls, it wants to play some cards that are somewhere in between. The Malevolent Rumbles, the Kozilek's Command, maybe a Sowing Myco Spawn, that sort of thing. And these aren't here. So if Albert can get to that Sire of 7 Deaths, that's all well and good. But the Sire of 7 Deaths also just dies to Solitude. Costs 7 life, but John's got 19.
Got 7 life to work with.
Got 7 life to can spare the life.
Yeah, I think this is just a really difficult position here.
Oh my goodness, no
land
third land.
again.
No third land. The Mending here discarding Psychic Frog and Atraxa. Now you're happy to discard the Atraxa, obviously that's part of this, what this deck is trying to do, get an Atraxa in the bin, bring it back with the Goryo's Vengeance, but you want you want to continue to develop your mana. Work towards that second Quantum Riddler that's in hand with an Ephemerate. Work towards casting the one that's already been warped.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Jonny, I'm not in full-blown panic mode here yet. It really just depends on... If I'm Jonny, my assumption is, okay, you're probably playing some sort of threat next turn. Otherwise, your hand is truly horrible, and I'm probably going to be fine. So now it's just, okay, what's the threat? Is it World Breaker? I don't love that. If it's Sire of 7 Deaths, I can kind of work myself through that. So it's just kind of, okay, what's the big threat going to be, and how scary is it going to be?
At this point, even a Sowing Micah Spawn, exiling a land would be pretty...
That'd be good. That would be good right now. Going after the lands is where you want to be right now.
So Worldbreaker Sowing Micah Spawn, what Johnny's hoping to avoid here. We know it's a Sire of 7 Deaths with the Eldrazi Temple that can come down next turn. There's the Temple, 7 mana.
Worldbreaker.
And bam! Look at this, a Worldbreaker. So the pressure is renewed here.
And that's kind of best possible, because if I am Albert, I just want to start blowing up as many lands as possible.
For sure.
That's the easiest way to go about winning this game. And certainly getting rid of the Black Source as well, because the Black Source, of course, enables Goryo's Vengeance to get back the Atraxa, to allow Jonny to get some cards back and get himself back into the game. So I definitely like going towards the Black Source of mana, even though one has just shown up there in a Watery Grave.
So finds a Watery Grave here, doesn't play it untapped in order to cast the Quantum Riddler, which says to me that Jonny really values wanting to ephemerate it.
This feels like this feels like a Solitude Ephemerate sort of. This is kind of what the loud call-out is right now.
Yes.
Given the information that we're working with.
And is a Sire of 7 Deaths. The other thing to note is a Resolved Quantum Riddler can also block the Worldbreaker. As a 4/6, it can block the 5/7. So these may be the things that Johnny's sort of weighing up here as he navigates this turn. But here's a Solitude, pitching another Solitude, and we're going to see where it's pointed, and an Ephemerate. So we'll see both of these creatures get exiled.
And Johnny's going to pay the 7 life for the Ward 7 on the Sire of 7 Deaths, so he's going to fall down to 7. Presumably going to go back up to 10 here. Is the Ephemerate not going to rebound that on upkeep? So that's going to go away for good. So back up to 10 after the attack, presumably, and then, this isn't... I mean, it's not horrible.
Okay, Quantum Riddler. Draw 2. That's nice.
Pretty good.
And has found a third land.
Yeah, if he peeled off an Ephemerate here, it'd be pretty good. It's just another Riddler and Atraxa, though.
Just another Riddler. No, Johnny's back in this game.
Absolutely.
For sure. That Solitude plus Ephemerate combo there, fighting through the huge monsters that Albert had brought to bear. And this is the problem. This is what we highlighted. The removal that Jonny has is really, really effective. And the Eldrazi Ramp deck just not set up to punish this Esper Goryo's deck particularly well.
But there is one thing, if you are rooting for Albert or you're rooting for Eldrazi Ramp, that is worth noting here, which is the life total. Albert's at 27. Solitude hits in chunks of 3. There's nothing else on the battlefield yet. So what that means is that there's a lot of time for Albert to work with.
Yeah.
And that means there's a lot of draw steps. And there are big cards in the deck, like Emrakul and the Heragast that has been drawn. Things that can actually turn the game back in his favor.
Not to mention Malevolent Rumble, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention Kozilek's Command. These are cards that traditionally non-blue decks haven't had access to. Throughout much of Modern's history, if you weren't playing card selection that blue and to a lesser extent red gave you, you're at the mercy of the top of your library. This is a green-based deck that has a lot more card selection than you might have expected, traditionally speaking.
Yeah, I think he might be short 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that looks like 9 to me. Yeah, okay.
I can do this like 1. 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9. There you go. Now there's Heragast.
All right, Heragast here, Erupting Null Kite. It has emerged, not that that's relevant right now. When you cast a spell, you may exile your hand. If you do, draw 3 cards. Another way to keep the business flowing here. And each creature spell you cast also has emerged. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost. You can see the card on your screen there. So this card, very relevant threat, but what importantly it does in situations that this deck needs it to is, again, refill the hand.
Oh, boy. You mean like this?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
You can emerge one from the other. Not true? It's emerge. Okay, each creature spell you cost has emerged. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost.
Oh, so I can't read.
Yeah. Emerge 9 for emerge 9.
Okay.
Okay,
Because
sure.
it's a colorless card.
Okay.
Yeah, I get. There's no colored mana
mana,
to cast. So, yep. Just a rebuy on the old.
I mean, this is
what
what we expected coming into a Modern Pro Tour, is just Heragast, emerge Heragast.
Of course.
What else would one do?
That's been a key part of preparation for everyone, really. They've all planned for that particular contingency. All right, flashback faithful mending.
Ooh, there's a good card in Albert's hand. We'll get to that in just a moment. Oh, these force negations. Now that's a card. That's a card that's not very good in this matchup.
Okay.
I will note that.
It's exiled here. Oh, sorry, discarded, along with another copy of Atraxa. Fourth land, the polluted Delta now for Jonny.
Now, with Emrakul in hand right now, this is Emrakul the Promised End. Magic has a couple of Emrakuls. This is the cheaper one that does the mind slavering style effect. This game might just take a turn for Negative Town here for Jonny. And this is Rumble, which you mentioned.
Yeah, the Malevolent Rumble.
The big reason to play. This card is a big reason to kind of play this sort of strategy.
So here, I think... Is Jonny considering countering this?
Yeah, I think this is Force Negation, exiling the Quantum Riddler. I mean, he just doesn't have anything.
You just don't have anything else to do, right? Yeah. Like, you've got nothing else to cast that targeting, really.
Yep.
All the big threats are all creatures. It's not like there's a Khan or anything in this deck.
You can hope that even though Albert has just gone through a handful of cards with the Haragasts, plural, that, there's a reliance on the Malevolent Rumble.
Yeah.
Counter that, maybe you brick off a handful of turns.
It's like, yeah, okay, you've just drawn 6 cards, but like maybe this is the best that you've got, and you're gonna keep digging for something even better. But as it is, we know, of course, that Albert has a follow-up act here that is a lot scarier, probably, than anything this Malevolent Rumble could find. All right, force that, pitching the 3rd Quantum Riddler, but Albert now presumably has the mana to cast this Emrakul. Very full graveyard here for the Spaniards, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem to cast this 13 drop.
Yeah, access right now to 2, 3, 4. I see access to 7 mana.
Okay.
I don't know if there's going to be a 6 mana discount on that card.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not.
Still think Albert's in a pretty good position right now. Again, has a really high life total. Has a 6/6 and a 6/6 flyer with an opponent at 5. So I think there's a lot to like here.
Yeah, counting up the mana there. Nothing imprinted on that second Ugin's Labyrinth there.
There's a Sanctum of Ugin. Haven't seen that one in a minute.
Oh. But that only gets into 8.
Remember the whole emerge cost thing as well.
Oh, that's also true, yes. You can emerge the Emrakul from the Heragast.
Yep.
So that gives you a significant discount. All right. So Emrakul, the Promised End here. Sanctum of Ugin sacrificed to go and get another card. Is that a Sowing Micah Spawn there?
Yeah, it's cute and can cast that and kick that.
Immediately.
Blow up a land.
Nice. Gets rid of the Watery Grave there.
Yep, go ahead and get your own land, which is a Ghost Quarter.
Ghost Quarter really, really well positioned at the moment. People are not playing a lot of basics. Has Jonny had enough? He's seen enough here.
Yeah, I'd see enough too. There's an Emrakul, there's a Mycospawn, there's a Ghost Quarter that's going to get activated, and because Albert has control of Jonny, Albert's going to make sure that Jonny doesn't find a land with the Ghost Quarter, so on and so forth. So for Jonny, who's mulliganing to 5 again, this matchup is not going according to plan at all.
And can I tell you, I really like Albert's hand.
Yeah, I don't mind this hand.
It's a lot better.
Yeah, I don't mind this hand.
I think it's a lot better.
There's just early things to do.
That's right. There's mana that can be put into first of all the talismans, right, to make sure that there's early plays. Secondly, you then put the mana that talismans generate into the Kozilek's commands, right, which bridges you into. And this is what I was talking about in game number 1, right? There was some early ramp. There was a talisman. There was a Utopia Sprawl. There wasn't anything in the mid game. Right? There wasn't anything to bridge you towards those huge threats. And had Jonny been hitting his land drops, that would have been a very different game, obviously.
Yep.
But I like this a lot better, even in the face of this Thoughtseize. This is a good hand against the Thoughtseize, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Because here, Albert has a lot of options. And with your opponent on a mulligan of 5, I think even with this Thoughtseize, you're feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, I would not mind this if I'm Albert. Now, of course, Gorios, there's a lot of scary things that can happen, but by and large, my opponent's mulligan 5. I saw what last game looked like. Nothing too bad happened to me. This game, my opponent is not playing a second land, so I'm feeling pretty good about things.
All right, let's see what's in Jonny Guttman's hand here. Get a sense of what his mulligan of 5 was like. Just the one land again. Consigned to memory. Tainted Indulgence, Ephemerate, and Prismatic Ending.
You know, Magic, especially competitive Magic, at a stage of a tournament like this. Right now, Johnny's in first place, 10-1, having a fantastic tournament and has been very open about that. Certainly did not expect to be doing this well this weekend because it's hard to expect to do well, to do 10-1 at any Pro Tour, right? No one goes in with those expectations, just trying to take one game and one match at a time. This starts to be the challenge for him, where one of the things I love to do when we're in the booth, I like to take a look at the face cams. Johnny's got hand in the, he's clearly frustrated.
Yeah.
Understand, he's mulligan to 5 twice.
Yeah,
I would be frustrated too.
It's rough.
Right? The biggest thing about competitive Magic is how do you handle this frustration where sometimes you don't get to play a game or a match the way that you want to, right? Do you let this impact you just for this game and this match, or is there a cascading effect? And that's not to say that he can't win this game, but in this exact moment, I understand the frustration.
No, and you've got to keep your head up, right? And this is what separates good players from great. You know, it's not just about being able to read the play, see your lines, maximize your value, efficiency, all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
You've got to be able to keep your head in the game when things don't go your way.
One of the things that I've always felt about competitive Magic as a Grafdigger's Cage has been drawn is once you get to this level, there's a baseline of everyone knows how to play.
Yeah.
Right? There might be some small gaps in skill level, you know, Reed Duke, one of the best players, Finkel, Kai, all that stuff. But on a base level, we all know how to play.
Yeah.
So now it's just how do I keep it together when I'm only in a 6?
What other axes are you leveraging?
Correct.
Reed Duke's a really good example of someone to bring up when we're having this conversation. A man who just doesn't tilt.
Yes, ever.
Just never tilts.
Nope.
Right? Always. Maybe he's going through it internally.
But you'll never see it.
You never see it.
You never see it.
Right? He's rock solid.
How do you keep it together when you make a mistake that you would not make 99 times out of 100, but in this weird scenario, you thought things too quickly, you thought about things the wrong way, your deck isn't cooperating with you, whatever. It's just how do you keep it together in a situation like that?
Well, one of the biggest lessons that Magic has taught me personally over the years is how do you respond where you do everything correctly and still get a bad result?
Correct.
Like, that's even worse in some ways than making a mistake, because it's like, well, I played perfectly and I still got punished for it. Like, digesting that, it can really be bitter and twisted, because you can't even blame yourself at that point.
No, it just happens. Here's a K command for 2.
So it's important to keep your head above water in this situation. And it's important for Jonny Guttman here now, who is flying high at 10-1. He can't let this affect him in the way that it seems to be. Look, I don't know the guy, right? I don't know how he operates in these sorts of situations, but his body language, as you say, Cedric, is telling us a story here.
See if he can maybe peel off a blue source. No, and attracts it instead. Less than ideal.
Sure. Yeah, not what you want to see. Even this consigned to memory, presumably out of the board. He's got one in the main, but there are 3 copies waiting in the board there. So he almost certainly they've all been brought in for this matchup.
Yeah, this is the perfect card for that matchup.
But
no blue source right now.
You're hating
Can't
that.
even cast it.
You're hating that.
Mm-hmm.
And is this a world break? Is this enough for World Breaker now as well?
Yeah, I think that thing's
my
clear
goodness.
for takeoff.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
So World Breaker, get rid of one of these 2 lands that Johnny has. Floats a white and passes. I mean, you got a feel for him. This is not how you want to lose games on the Pro Tour main stage here. Mulligan to 5, game 1 and 2. Matchup that was pretty favourable. And yeah, you can really see it's getting to him. And look, I don't blame him. It's a tough spot to be in. The poor bloke, honestly.
One of the reasons I'm pointing this out, this is not to speak ill of Johnny. This is me looking in a mirror.
Yeah.
My first handful of Pro Tours, I was a wreck when things went bad. And when that happens, you cannot win. When you start second-guessing yourself, getting frustrated, everything else. And again, we don't know him that well. This is just one game. We are watching it unfold in here right now in front of us. Do I think he's on like super mega tilt? I don't. Do I think he's frustrated? Yeah.
And
I would be
so.
too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because the other thing to note, think about what Corey said when we were at the news desk. Pretty good matchup for Johnny. Think about what we said when we came to the round. We think this is a pretty good matchup for Johnny. Johnny's a smart kid. He's 10-1 at a Pro Tour. I think when he got the deck list and looked across, he said, "Ooh,
like,
baby,
11-1.
There's no graveyard
Yeah,
hates?
yeah.
I have to worry about World Breaker?
Yeah.
Okay. If I just get some normalized draws, I should be pretty good here. 11-1, 12's the cutoff, the top 8. Maybe you were getting a little ahead of yourself, thinking I'm going to win this one. Then I got to win one of the next 4. Now things have just taken a bit of a turn.
Of all the matchups where you mulligan to 5 twice and don't draw, your second or third land, why did it have to be the good one? That's probably what he's dealing with. But the true test of a player at this level is how you come back from this.
That's right.
And we're hoping to see Johnny come back in the next round refreshed and restored.
Yeah, because this game, this game is like, there's a world breaker. This game is probably effectively over. Jonny, especially because the contents of Jonny's hand, right? There's an ephemerate. There needs to be basically a solitude very soon to alongside the ephemerate, like that style of gameplay.
Time's running out.
A blue source might not be ideal anymore. There was a window for a blue source for Tainted Indulgence and Consigned to be quite good. And there's a lot of bad draws in the deck right now, too. Things like Quantum Riddler, Psychic Frog. Like, there's a lot of whiffs at this stage of things, too.
All right, well, let's see here. Albert will be very, very happy with how things have gone so far, but he needs to close the door on what does look like a very, very good position for him. Proving his record at 9-2. Already, people are starting to think about top 8. That magic number, 12 wins.
Yeah, it's tricky, because 12 wins is the magic number. When you get to 10, you start doing everyone does it. You start doing the count.
Yep.
All right, just 2 more.
Yep.
I think I can get 2 more.
2 out of 4 or 5, really.
I can do 2 of anything.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
2 wins?
Easy.
Yeah, that can't be that hard.
Who hasn't won 2 games of Magic?
Right? Can't really be that tough, except for, here it can.
Yeah. This is what happens. The Pro Tour will throw you curveball.
One thing I do like about Albert here, too, that even though he is significantly ahead, one of the things I love to see is that when a player is ahead, they don't get sloppy.
No.
Take your time. Make sure you don't do anything wrong. You're super far ahead. You're very close to getting your 10th win in the Pro Tour, 2 wins away from top 8. Don't get sloppy. Don't do anything silly. Take your time. Make sure you're executing correctly, as you've been executing very well all weekend long.
Poor Jonny, a force of negation off the top now for him as we see Heragast emerged once again, this time from a World Breaker. There's also Ice Till Explorer on the battlefield.
Yeah, just doing a little cooking with that card. I really like that card.
Very good card. Very,
really
very,
cool.
very, very cool card indeed. Oh, yeah. All right, in they come. An attack for 8 now, knocking Jonny down to 3. And it looks like it's going to be all over Red Rover here for our hero from the Frozen North. Down but not out.
Sacrifice land? Yeah. I think it's a sacrifice of land.
Sacrifice a land?
Yeah. Sure.
So World Breaker is brought back. That works through the
cage.
The cage.
Yep. And that is going to do it. Tough.
So you sign up for it.
Really, really rough there for Jonny Guttman. Not the way that you want to lose a match. But I tell you what, Albert would be very, very happy to have gotten away with that one. He played very well. He played very well and deserved the win ultimately at the end, But certainly very, very frustrating set of circumstances for his opponent, who, as we should point out once again, is nowhere near out of this tournament.
No, not even close.
At 10-2, a lot of Magic left for him to play.
Yeah, there are still 4 more rounds left of Modern. Clearly, with Jonny at the top of the standings, had a very good day 1 in Modern with Goryo's Vengeance. So, again, situations like this, because you and I have been watching Pro Tours for quite a while now, it's just how do you respond?
Yep.
You can look at this and say, I just got mana screwed and mulliganed to 5 twice in what is ideally a very good matchup. You can be very frustrated about that, or you can think to yourself, you know what? Tournament's been going pretty well. I'm 10-1. It was bound to take a little bit of a dip. So let's get this double mulligan out of the way now, and let's get back on the horse.
The ageless wisdom of ancient philosophers speaks to us. As Taylor Swift once said,
Ooh, talk to me.
Shake it off.
Oh, yes.
We're going to take a break, my friends. We'll be back with more Magic,
man.
more Modern coming your way before very much longer. Whoa, look at that. We'll be back live from Pro Tour Edge of Eternities after this. Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Edge Opportunities here from Atlanta in the United States of America. My name's Riley Knight. I'm joined by Cedric Phillips, getting some images there from the show floor here at MagicCon Atlanta. What a time. It's a hoot and a half. Maybe even a hoot and 3/4, I would say.
Oh, hello.
A MagicCon. If you haven't been to one, what are you doing?
Look at these
Get
race
along.
cars. Ooh, we had a crash.
We did. Quickly, a tasteful pan away from that destruction derby there. But no, these events are obviously terrific fun. And if you haven't been to one, do yourself a favor and see if there's one coming your way sometime soon, because there is, as Marshall said earlier, he put it really well. No matter what type of Magic you like to play, you get to do it here.
That is true. There is a ton of Magic to play, and there's a lot of people to play it with. So if you do find the opportunity to come to a MagicCon, do so.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Get to meet this guy. That's a big reason.
Maybe in my DMs.
Sliding his
Come
DMs
on
and want
in.
to see if he's going to be there. He loves it. He loves it. He loves interacting with the fans.
Yeah, I love Strong.
Do him a favor. Okie dokes. Let's head back down to our feature match area. We've got another match to get our teeth into here. Francisco Sánchez playing off against Alex Rohan, another Spaniard being featured in the bright lights of the feature match area from Team Pluto. As Francisco Sánchez, a team that is doing very, very well, Cedric. His teammate Sergio Garcia, also on Azorius control on one of our other backup matches. But we're going to see Sánchez go up against Alex Rohan from the United Kingdom here, who is playing Neoform.
The glass cannon of the format. When it looks good, it looks like the best deck in the format. When it looks bad, makes you wonder why you registered it. Now, the tricky thing about this is, what side are we going to see? Does it look good or look bad here? In a matchup that I think can be pretty difficult. This is the kind of matchup where the longer the game goes, the worse it is for the Neoform deck, because that means that Azorius control has established itself. It's gotten a stranglehold on the game. So if you are the Neoform player, and this is generally true about most matchups for Neoform, you kind of get the game over with by the second or third turn of the game, which this deck does do quite well. So we'll see if Alex is able to do that here.
All right, let's get into it here. Game number 2. Francisco Sánchez picking up the game number 1. So now it's up to Alex Rohan to channel the Battle of Trafalgar and bring it back against the Spaniard.
That's the plan. That's the plan.
We'll see if he can do it.
Been seeing a lot of these Surveil lands in Modern here this weekend. Hedge Mage, Meticulous Archive, Elegant Parlor. They are a staple now in the format.
We've seen a little bit of Azorius control so far. A really, really difficult deck to build in Modern, in a format like Modern, because the hallmark of a good control deck, Cedric, is one that is able to answer the questions that the format asks. And there are so many questions, so many different types of threats, so many different ways that games are won and lost in Magic, in Modern particularly, I should say. And trying to cover all of those bases with one control deck of 60 cards, very tall order in a format that's as wide as Modern. If you're attacking a different format, a narrower format, a smaller format like Standard, you've got a smaller number of questions to answer. If you've got a heavily aggro-dominated format, you know how to build a control deck to beat that. When you're going up against mid-range and aggro and combo and all of these other different types of decks that you have to beat, fast decks, slow decks, synergistic decks, value-based decks, Modern's got each and every one of these. Constructing a deck that beats all of them, very difficult to do.
It's really hard. It's an interesting situation, too, because if you look at a smaller format like Standard, you have a finite number of cards to work with, much smaller card pool than Modern, right? Yes. So ideally in Standard, you say, okay, I want to build a control deck. There are less decks that I have to worry about, but the question is, because there are less sets to work with and less cards to work with, do the answers exist to be able to construct a deck? In Modern, all the answers are there.
Yes.
Right? It's just, have I built my deck correctly with the metagame in mind, which is very wide because there's so many cards available because Modern has such a large card pool. And if you have the wrong answers to the questions that folks are asking you, you're going to have a bad weekend. Yes. So the idea here is, okay, I don't need to necessarily be as direct in my answers. I kind of want to be a little broad. I kind of want to paint with very broad strokes, but cards that are still quite powerful. So a card like Teferi, look, some matchups is going to be great, some matchups is going to be okay, but generally Teferi's floor is pretty high.
Yes. And
that's why you see it in these sort of strategies. You know, we're seeing plenty of card draw, some counter spells, some sweepers, that sort of thing, but a card like Teferi in Solitude, you just know generically these cards are good, so I should include them in my main deck somewhere.
And this has been a trend that we've seen emerge across the more recent years in Modern. We've seen answers become better as they have to line up against better threats, but, you know, gone are the days where you're casting conditional counter magic, mana leak, right? Gone are the days where you had to rely on something like Path to Exile in order to get rid of a big creature. You can use things like Solitude now. We have actual literal counterspell in Modern. So the answers the questions are harder to answer, but the answers are better than
Correct.
they've ever been.
It's just, do I have the right answers? Because, again...
And in the right numbers.
Correct. Because, as you mentioned, they're better than they've ever been, and you have access to a ton of answers. It's just you have to make sure you know the questions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest
So
thing.
the battle that a lot of control players are fighting, it doesn't even happen. It begins long before people sit down and shuffle up.
For sure.
It's the way that your deck is built. Anyway, we're seeing this this game develop a little bit slower here. Alex Rohan obviously is going to be very aware of the fact that Francisco Sánchez is playing infinite interaction and has to pick his moment in order to try to fire his glass cannon. And now Disruptor Flute is the play here.
And I'm always a little worried about when you are playing Simic Neoform and the game goes long like this, because it gives blue-white control. I mean, blue-white control, of course, wants to just play a long game, very comfortable doing so.
Yeah. Oh, Endurance. Here we go.
They don't mind playing against a 3/4 on turn 5 or whatever.
Yeah, look, and Alex is going to put those planar genesis back in his deck with the Endurance. But Francisco, look, I still like this. I like the fact that Alex is asking a question. It's not a great question. It's a pretty easy.
I mean,
question.
it's a question.
But it's a question. It's going to do some damage, and you've got to do something. So I like this. I like this. And this is one of the key things that maybe we shouldn't be having this discussion, seeing as I play a lot of control in Modern. I don't want to hand the keys to the kingdom away.
Okay.
But one of the skills that you need when you're playing against a control deck is figuring out exactly how much you want to commit to the battlefield.
Of course.
How you want to approach the matchup, because it's not as simple as being like, oh, I'm just going to dump all these creatures. If they have it, they have it. Because, well, they have it.
Yeah.
Their deck is built to have it,
Yes.
right? So playing out this 3/4 here, it might look pretty unimpressive, but it's going to do 6 damage, 9 damage, and then it's going to take a card out of Francisco's hand.
Yeah.
And that's...
It's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Because the previous turns, it was a lot of nothing that Francisco had to worry about.
Yeah.
Now, Francisco's hand it's loaded up. You know, there's a Solitude there. When to pick your fight with that Solitude, we will presumably find out. The answer is not yet. There's a copy of Orm's Chant in hand. There's at least one counter spell. So it's not like Francisco doesn't have anything. You can see there's quite a few cards in hand. It's just how to manage the resources in hand, and also how do you want to manage your life total here. You can use your life total as a resource and say, all right, I'll go to 13. I'll go to 10. I'll go to 7. Maybe so willing to go down to 4 before deciding, all right, enough of this endurance nonsense.
Yes.
Let's start to engage a little bit.
Problem here for Francisco is he's not hitting land drops.
That is a concern.
That's the big issue that he has to worry about. And now, I think has to make some sort of a play. Is he discarding to hand size otherwise? Yeah, so we're going to see Solitude evoked here with Prismatic Ending hitting the Exile zone.
Prismatic Ending not particularly strong in this matchup, so this makes some sense to me.
Yeah. And now it's back to Alex, who may actually want to defend this 3/4. Okay, going to cast a Planar Genesis here.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we had a fight over Planar Genesis, so I'm not too surprised to see this resolve.
I like the fact that these were shuffled back in. This is a great card to have when you need to dig through your deck. I think he had 3 in his graveyard when he...
At least 2.
I think it was... Yeah, I thought it was 3 when he cast the Endurance. So if they were shuffled back in with a fetch land or something.
Yeah, so this is, with this card, it's like an updated growth spiral, basically. So if you don't put a land on the battlefield, you put a card from among the ones that you're looking at into the hand and the rest on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah.
It looks like Solitude is going to resolve and take care of the Endurance.
Yep. So Endurance exiled. And now Francisco, 6 cards in hand, as we just heard. So Allosaurus Riders, named by the Disruptor Flute, meaning it'll cost 3 more to come into play.
We have a Hope of Gearpow sighting?
Yep, Hope of Girapur.
Okay.
4 copies in the sideboard
Okay.
for Alex Rohan.
We are in game 2. Haven't seen that legendary Thopter in a minute.
No, it's this sort of silence on a stick effect.
Yeah, this is very
through your combo.
Yeah, this is very Xantid Swarm. Wonder if we have that one in the truck. The Busy Bee.
See if Caroline can bring up the Xantid Swarm for us.
I secretly like to put Caroline to the test.
All right.
Some of the cards that I mentioned.
Caroline Pardee in the truck, bringing up beads of sweat.
That's right.
on her forehead as she digs desperately.
It's from Scourge.
She's not going to find it.
Okay, it's from Scourge.
She's not going to find it. And do you know why she's not going to find it?
It's not in there.
Because it's not in there.
No.
Because they only have modern legal cards in the card viewer system.
I know.
Yeah. So we're not going to blame Caroline Putty for this monumental failure of broadcasting.
Maybe you won't.
Slide into Caroline's team.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, my goodness.
But it does effectively play that role of, once I hit you, sacrifice this, go absolutely nuts. That's kind of the plan.
Yes. Yeah. This effect, the silence on non-creature spells is huge when, you know, your opponent's sitting there 6 cards in hand. They're all good. They're all counter spells or disruption of some kind, removal, what have you. All of a sudden, the Hope of Girapur blanks them. And you can't do anything. All right, Arid Mace is a good pickup here for Francisco, continuing to hit his land drops. That's what he wants to do. Alex playing very patiently here. You'd have to imagine, after casting Planar Genesis about 10,000 times, that he is looking at a hand that's pretty good.
Yeah, this is actually... oh, okay, hang on.
All right.
Making him... Oh,
we're going to see Arm's Chant. Okay, so everyone's being... Getting real quiet.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
feature area.
Well, he's to it.
So neither player can do anything, essentially.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, so you sack the Hope of Girapur. I chant you in response. I can't play non-creature spells anymore.
You can't play.
You can't play any
spells of any kind.
Yeah. Which means I can fetch very safely.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah.
And get a Meticulous Archive and do some surveilling.
So this is a nice one here. I think I would. I'm pretty confident that's a land on top.
Yeah?
I think so. How many lands do you want?
This isn't... Like, these Azorius control decks in Modern are mana hungry, but they're not like standard Azorius control decks that play 6 or 7 mana win conditions.
He's got 5 great cards.
I think like 6 is kind of the sweet spot, so I can play 2 3s.
Let's find out. Bam. Told ya.
Yeah, if I can do something like
Sorry, excuse me. You got anything to say?
No.
It was a land on top. I made an accurate observation.
Congratulations.
I earned my pay for the day.
Okay.
I'm done. That's it. I can go home head held high because I contributed to today's broadcast meaningfully.
It's a long flight home, just so you know.
I was just talking about going back to the hotel.
Okay.
Sure. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll be on the next flight across the Pacific. All right, fine. Citrix dismissed me for the weekend. All right, here's a hard cast Solitude now.
Ooh, just
Okay. Well, this is going to provoke some sort of action here from Alex Rohan. Mystical Dispute, hard cast there for the full 3 mana.
So curious what's going to happen now, because as weird as it is to say, the shields are somewhat down here for Alex, which means that Francisco, if he wants to start actually doing something on the main phase of consequence, which could be, you know, maybe like Narset Days Undoing or just who knows what, right? Like those things are more possible now. There still is a single mana available.
Landed to Ferry even.
Yep. That would be a pretty good card.
2 in a row, baby.
Look at you.
Let's go. Huge result.
Excellent.
All right, a little scary here because here's the dispute. Okay, counterspell back. So when the counter war Teferi's on the battlefield, Teferi, we'll see if it maybe bounces the Hope of Girapur. It's going to, so draw a card.
I think this is really good. And if Francisco now obviously more or less tapped out, he's got that Flooded Strand there, which does represent potential mana. But if there's a Force of Negation in hand, I think he's in a really good spot.
I think so.
I think he's in a really, really good spot after this exchange. And it's so tough. Like, I feel for Alex Rohan. In this situation, it's so hard to pick your moment going against the Azorius control deck when they do have a full grip.
And this is kind of what I was speaking about when we kind of started the game, which is, look, I don't think it's a good matchup for Neoform anyway.
No.
Right? But if you're going to get the dub in this matchup, you got to do it pretty early.
Yeah. And you can't rely on Hootie Mandrills
I don't know.
for 6 mana on turn 12.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about old Hoots here and its chances of helping to win this game. Stranger things have happened, but this is going to be a large ask of the old ape.
Assuming these mandrills are dispatched and dealt with, Francisco's in a position where he has at least 2 pieces of counter magic in hand. I spotted a counter spell in addition to what I think is a Force of Negation. Land number 7, you love to see it. Here's a Narset 2. And this will dig for more answers. If you don't have the answer to the Hooting Mandrills, chances are after this Narset activation, you will.
Yeah, with Teferi protection.
Although, actually, now that I think about it, what do you have that removes the Hooting Mandrills that you can get off a Narset? Prismatic Ending doesn't do it.
That doesn't really do it.
Because you can't take a Solitude either.
No.
All right, I'm revisiting my thesis.
All right, well, maybe there's something on the sideboard. Clearly, you can't find Solitude. Prismatic Omen doesn't really do it.
Celestial Purge doesn't do it.
Okay.
That's coming in this matchup,
Yep.
obviously.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, is Hooting Mandrels going to make fools of us all?
Is this the nuts right now? Is this
Um,
the card to beat?
Supreme Verdict.
Tough way to do it.
Yeah, but hey, needs must,
dude.
right? Needs must.
Yeah.
Those Hooting Mandrels, they're not paying attention to the Sky Runes.
All right, well, now it's time to turn our attention to Hooting Mandrills.
Pro Tour All-Star Hooting Mandrels.
Well, does it want to take a bite out of Teferi? Take a bite out of Narset? Or take a bite out of the life total?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's go.
We are going upstairs.
Hoot, baby.
Down to 3.
Down to 3, and this is
That's what it
I
looks
was-
like. That's what it looks like.
this is what I was talking about before with that endurance, right? It just chipped away, did enough damage, and we're making light of this situation. We're talking about how Hooting Mandrels isn't enough, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be,
Generally, it's not.
right? But in this situation, there are a lot of ways that Francisco can deal with this 4/4. Another Hope of Europe here.
Okay, well, Prismatic Omen, instant speed because of Teferi takes care of that one pretty easy.
It's nice and easy. Down to 2 now with the Flooded Strand.
Searching for an answer. Is there another? This could be, depends on what land it is. Okay, it looks like it's Hollow Fountain. So there's no more Surveil lands to get, so this could be the old thin it out.
But you've got your draw step. You've got a Narset activation. If you've got something like a Consult the Star Charts, that'll get you a long way there. Days Undoing.
I mean, you can look as much as you want. It's just what answers do you have in your deck, and this is what you spoke to.
Let's see. Let's see if it's going to line up. Or is Hooting Mandrels going to win this game?
Oh, this isn't good.
This is not good.
This isn't good. I've been here.
Oh, if
Lay those 4 cards down. Act like there's something of consequence. I've been here before.
If only I could go back a little bit.
Oh, kick it.
Okay, that'll
All
get
right.
that'll
That'll buy a turn.
Buys a turn here. Oh, we threw a lot of shade at the Mandrels there, Cedric. And
We strong.
I'm beginning to. Yeah, no.
Mostly-
Actually,
it was
you're
mostly me.
right. That
It
is
was
good.
mostly
That's very
me.
big of you to
Yeah,
admit. It was
no problem.
mostly you. I've never said a word against Hooting Mandrels. Always respected
That's
the power
right.
of the Mandrels.
Oh yeah.
And another Narset
Let's
now.
try again.
Yeah, let's have another look. Still life for Supreme Verdict here. I've never seen someone so determined to remove a Hooting Mandrel.
Double.
And I'll be trying again next time.
Double Orbs chant in hand.
All right. So those Mandrels
Please hold a blast.
aren't going to go a hooting anytime soon. There's another land.
Next up.
3 mana.
Ah, yes.
This is the other way. We've got the old chump block.
Yeah.
So Hooting Mandrels kept at bay before it could even untap there. The kicked Hooting Mandrels.
Orm Chant, of course. Orm Chant with kicker, very good alongside Teferi, of course.
Yeah.
You play in your opponent's upkeep. They can't respond to the Orm's Chant. The kick resolves. They get to draw their card and pass the turn because they don't get to attack. So very good in combination with Teferi.
Okay, here's a Consult the Star Charts.
My guess right now is that Francisco may be on the hunt for Isochron Scepter if it's still in the deck
True. Okay.
to put the lock together of Scepter,
So-
Chant plus Teferi.
But how does that work with the kicker?
Oh, you can pay the kicker off of Scepter.
So you cast the card with the Scepter, and then you pay an extra white?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can pay the additional cost
Yep.
in addition to the Isochron Scepter. Okay. Well, that'll work. That'll work for sure. We're consulting the star charts here, kicking it as well. So look at the top 9. This is one of the reasons you want to keep hitting your land drops as well, by the way,
Yes,
Cedric.
very much so.
At this point, this is very, very close to double Demonic Tutor. Like, for anyone who remembers Dig Through Time,
It's very dig through time.
how good that card was and still is.
Now remember, we are also enjoying this game in progress.
Yeah.
We're enjoying the match in progress. Excuse me. So we didn't see the sideboarding. We don't know if Scepters are still in the deck after sideboard.
It is. There it is right there. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, we do know.
We do know
In
that.
fact.
We do, in fact, know that. And I think it's going to be the pick. I think there was a Teferi that was taken as well. Didn't get a great look at it. You can see Francisco holding the cards just out of our view there, unfortunately.
And remember, because of the frustration of Teferi and after the +1, you are defending yourself. Your opponent really can't interact with you in any meaningful way. So you're very safe to play your cards. Is the biggest thing.
Yes. Yeah. Teferi makes it gives you just nice warm blanket.
Yes.
You can
Oh, the warmest.
cozy up under.
The warmest of blankets.
All right. Teferi ticks up. We've still got that orange Chan in hand, don't forget. Are we going to see another Teferi played?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Okay, no, there's the Kihira. Okay. All right, back to you.
Chance on upkeep again.
Chance on upkeep, draw, and then that's it. You can play a land, but
you'll
that's...
do nothing and like it.
all you can do. The Orum's chance will continue until morale improves here. All right. The Mandrills, hoot no longer, Cedric. Removed by this Teferi.
There's no more hooting to be done.
Not this turn, at least. And Kihira can get in for 3 as well. 10 lands in play for Francisco. These Consult the Star charts looking real jacked and juicy. So it's been a little dicey. Francisco's been sounding kind of close to the win a little bit. All right. Fire him up.
Oh, Hootie.
And this time...
Welcome back.
Oh, we're delving this time.
Okay.
3 mana left over. What else is there to be played? Another Endurance? No, Allosaurus Rider plus the 3 extra mana because of the Disruptor Flute, of course. Exiling 2 green cards.
Maybe.
Maybe. Nope. Oh, just a little takes his back.
A little JK.
Just a little... Reveal this card from your hand. All right.
I am on 2 down 17, right?
You're 17.
I'm
17, you're 2.
Yeah, 17 to 2, confirming life totals. Maybe going down to 1, sacking the fetch land. We'll see. Looks like yes.
Yep.
1.
Down to 1. 1's not 0. Francisco Sánchez, well and truly in it here.
Might be a Steam Vents tapped. Yeah.
Yep. Interesting that Alex didn't play the Allosaurus Rider, perhaps worried that that was just too clean an opportunity to fire off a Supreme Verdict.
Perhaps. I'm a little curious about it. I mean, I think that Alex is in a horrible situation right now.
Yeah. Consult the star charts. All right. Days undoing there. Very, very powerful with Nast. If you haven't seen how this works, you're about to, and it's. I'll tell you, it's not nice.
No,
it's not nice. No, sensitive viewers are advised.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Solitude. Hardcast Solitude comes in as a 4/3, thanks to Kihira. And upstairs with Teferi. Nast sticks around. In come the Elementals. And I think we're going to see... Do we even see the Days Undoing here? Oh, and a Gyreed Sanitarium as well.
Oh, the Azorius control deck is in full cooking mode right now. This is probably draw. This could be draws to Days Undoing. It's not a lock. I think it's going to happen though.
Yeah. So Days Undoing, for those of you who don't know, with Narset, it means you can't draw any extra cards when the card is cast against you, and it more or less ends games on the spot. Not many players are brave enough to continue after that happens to them. Alex Rohan going down swinging, but a very, very solid performance from our Azorius control player there. Essentially doing very, very well, putting the deck through its paces and clinging on. A lot of players who are maybe newer to the game might have looked at that and been biting their fingernails down to the quick, thinking, oh my goodness, it was so close. The live totals told one story, but we know that Azorius control players are very accustomed to being in situations like that. It looked a bit dicey for a little bit, but
slightly.
But ultimately, being able to dig to answers, buying enough time to find the cards that you needed in order to dispatch the threats, and then close the door on the game with the Days Undoing. Solid performance from the Azorius control deck.
Yep. That's what it looks like. When they win, that's exactly what it does look like. Gonna hang out with some friends, be happy about this win, one step closer to top 8. Azorius Control, I think, has a very good matchup against Simic Neoform.
Yep.
Assuming you're able to get through the first handful of turns of the game, the longer it goes, a little bit uglier that it gets for Simic Neoform. It doesn't really want to play a long game against anyone.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is very powerful when it does work, and there are certainly good matchups for the deck, but I just don't think that's one of them. And as you mentioned, over time, yes, fall down at 13 and 10, and Hooting Mandrills is sort of awkward to have to deal with, but ultimately able to find an answer and then close out the game.
All right, well, that is going to do it for this round here. It's been our pleasure to host you for the first round of Modern in day number 2 here at Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. We're going to take a quick break back at the news desk afterwards, and more Modern coming your way after that. Stay with us. We'll be back from Atlanta after this.